Hey guys, I'm going to do a little video rant about the IRS customer service and their horrible website because they leave me no other means for complaining. So I absolutely hate dealing with the IRS. I hate having to call them. I hate their website. It's just an absolute nightmare. I'm sure plenty of other people would say the same. I have monthly withdrawals that come out of my account for my business taxes from the IRS. It's a payment arrangement. And I needed to make a change to the date. I needed to change it to a different day of the month. And so I'm calling in advance to make sure that there's plenty of time for them to make the change before my next payment comes out. So I call, and first of all, trying to get through their initial automated phone routing system is a complete nightmare. It's like trying to play Pac-Man, and if you go the wrong way, you get eaten and you have to start over again. It's so stupid. If you go down a certain path and you're pressing what seems like the logical buttons, you get to the end and it says, "We're sorry, but the IRS is no longer taking calls on this subject." And then it hangs up on you. And it probably took you 5 minutes to get that far in the first place. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, why does it even give you the options or lead you down that path if it's not even an option to talk to someone? It's so stupid. They should just say, sorry, but these topics are not available, instead of sending you all the way down that route. It's so stupid. So I finally get through to holding to the hold music, and I hold for 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes, almost an hour, which I anticipated because every time I ever call the IRS, it is at least an hour hold. Sometimes it's 2 hours. So I just call and I put the call on speaker and I just walk around with my phone half the day waiting for someone to answer. So finally, after 50 minutes, someone answers, and I can't hardly hear anything that this woman is saying. It sounds like she's on a windy beach near the ocean. I mean, it sounds like there's just wind blowing all around her. And I said, "I'm sorry ma'am, but I can't hear you. Is there anything we can do?" And she says, "Well, ma'am, I have the phone right next to my face." And I said, "Well, it sounds like there's a wind blowing around you." And she says, "Well, I have a fan going." And she continues trying to go on with this fan blowing, trying to verify my information. So she's garbling out all kinds of, questions about my personal information, and I can barely understand what she's saying. And I keep telling her, "I can't hear you." And she just keeps trying to verify my information, telling me, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm talking into the phone." And finally I had to say, "Can you please point the fan somewhere else or turn it off?" And so she does it, and she points the fan somewhere else or turns it off or something, and all of a sudden I can hear her clear as day. And I said, "Thank you, ma'am. I was just really having a hard time hearing you. It sounded like you were in a wind tunnel." And so this lady's got, it just immediately has an attitude with me. I guess because she can't have her fan blowing on her. So I tell her what I need to do. I said, I need to change my date that my payment's coming out. So she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to put you on hold for like 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, what's another 5 to 7 minutes? So she puts me on hold, and then she comes back later, and she says to me, have you been on the website trying to change your payment date? And I said, well, I have been trying for months to get logged into your website so that I could do what I need to do, and I am never able to log into your website. Every time I enter my information, I am blocked from accessing the website for 24-hour increments. I have tried verifying my identity in every way possible on their website. I used to have an account, well, I still have an account, it's still there, that used to work fine until they updated their website and made a bunch of changes, and now you have to do this roundabout verification through your phone provider and with your credit report, and it's got to match your tax return information. And you gotta think, okay, I've moved multiple times. First of all, I got married, so my last name changed, and so they're trying to verify the information on my phone records matches the information in the credit report and matches the information on the tax returns, which I'm guessing something somewhere is not matching. And during the verification process, it gives you the option to verify by mortgage account information, credit card information, auto loan information, and I have tried all of it, and none of it works. And every single time I try to go in there and input the information, it tells me that I'm blocked for 24 hours. Even though I already have an account, the username and the password still works, but I can't get past their extended verification. And so I tell her that. I said, well, I tried, but I keep getting locked out. I can't do anything. And so she says, well, I don't know what you did, but I'm having troubles making changes now because it's locked up. And I'm just like, okay. Again, I didn't do anything except follow the instructions on the website. And so she's like, you're going to have to hold again. So she puts me on hold for another 5 minutes. And she comes back and she says, well, I changed your payment date from September to November, which is not, I didn't even ask for that. I only asked her to change it like 2 weeks from now. And so I'm like, okay, well, thanks. And she says, but there's a delay because of your account being locked up, and so that's why I pushed it out to November. And I'm like, well, okay, what does that mean? What about September and October? Well, you can go onto the website and make your September and October payment. And I'm like, okay, again, I don't have any way to access your website, first of all. And second of all, I'm changing the payment for September so it doesn't come out in September. Why are you telling me to make a payment in September? Well, I'm just telling you that, you can go on the website and you can make this payment, and I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you not hearing what I'm saying here? And so I said, okay, so you're telling me that the next automated withdrawal isn't coming out until November, but you keep talking about me making a payment for September and October. So is it required? What the heck? And she gets this attitude with me, and she's like, you're not listening to me. You just go on the website and make your payment for September and October if you want to. And I'm like, if I want to? What does it mean if I want to? Do I have to? Or is it optional? And finally, she's playing this word mind game or something. And finally, I get her to say, well, you don't have to make your payment for September and October, but if you have the money and you want to go ahead and make the payment, then you can go on the website and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, okay, so to confirm, I'm not going to be in trouble if I don't make a payment for September. And she's like, no, ma'am, I told you your payment isn't going to be due, or isn't going to process again until November. And I'm just like, oh my God, at this point, I just want to strangle her. And so she's got this crappy attitude with me, and she's talking like she's so tired or drugged out or something that she's just going to pass out at any moment. 'Cause it's like, oh, well, you're just gonna have to blah, blah, blah. Just real slow and annoying. And I'm just, oh, it was so awful. It was painful. And so when we realized that we understand each other about the whole payment thing, I'm about to ask her about my amended tax return. And she's like, well, okay, ma'am, if that's all that you need from me, then, thank you for calling the IRS, blah, 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 something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she tried to hang up on me. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not done. And she says, she gets an attitude, and she says, what? And just with a complete blatant attitude. And I said, you don't need to have an attitude with me. And she was like, no. I was like, what do you mean, no? And she says, I told you, I did what you asked, and there's nothing else that I can do for you. And I said, I have another problem. And she says, no. I'm like, what do you mean, no? You don't tell me no. I have something else to talk about. And she starts getting really loud, getting an attitude with me. And she's like, you're not going to speak to me this way. I'm not going to help you. And you have a good day. And I'm like, ma'am, wait a minute. I have a different thing I need to discuss with you. Wait a minute. And she just yelled at me and hung up on me. It was the most unprofessional phone call with the IRS that I've ever had. And I've had some unprofessional phone calls with these people. It's not really anything new, but I couldn't even believe that she just hung up on me like that and yelled at me. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, do I take the time to call back and complain? And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so I'll hold for another 15 minutes to an hour, and someone will answer the phone and say, oh, well, we can't take complaints on this phone line. You're going to have to call the taxpayer advocate or someone else, which I've had to do before. And I'm just like, it'll be a complete waste of my time. But I still don't have my other issue resolved, trying to figure out the status of my amended tax return. So I go on a little rant on Facebook about my irritating phone call, and I'm sitting here telling myself I'm not going to call back. It's a waste of my time. But then I'm like, you know what? I really need to know, and the website's not working for me, so I'm going to call. I'm just going to do it and call. So I call again. And I go through the prompts to find out the status of my amended tax return. And it tells me the IRS is no longer answering questions on this phone line, something like that, about this tax topic. And it hangs up on me. I'm just like, oh, are you kidding me? So I call again, and I go through the prompts that I went through the first time to get to that really rude lady. And same exact prompts. And this time the recording tells me that due to high call volumes, and basically because I had already talked to someone about the tax issue, they're not going to talk to me. And it hung up on me again. Are you kidding me? Seriously? What kind of crap is this? I mean, we pay for this stuff. We funnel money into the IRS. And this is the way that they treat us. And in this day and age of technology, they can't even get stuff that works properly. I mean, our banking, online banking, functions better than the IRS. I mean, I can actually go onto my bank website and do all kinds of stuff on there. And we're talking personal financial information, you know, financial transactions and stuff like that on my banking website. And I can call them and I can do whatever I need to do. And I don't have any problems. Why the heck can't the IRS get it together and modernize? I mean, this is pathetic. So here I am. I still don't know the status of my amended tax return, and I forgot to mention that I also did the option on their website to request an activation code by mail to try to enable access to my online account, and I got the letter. Got the letter sitting right here with an activation code. But still, when I go to their website, it tells me I'm locked out and I have to try again in 24 hours. So it's all a big freaking joke. And it's like nobody is really monitoring this or making sure that it's running smoothly. I mean, there should be options for people to complain about poor behavior like this. I mean, because the taxpayer advocate, which is where you essentially file major complaints, is really only if you're not getting what you need, or nobody's doing what you need them to do. So I would have to call several times and not get help several times on something major before the taxpayer advocate people would help me. Really frustrating, and it makes me mad because I pay so much freaking money to them. I don't know. So I'm doing this video because, you know, not that anybody important in the government is ever going to see it or give a crap, but maybe if more people start doing videos and complaining about the horrible treatment that we're receiving, then maybe someone somewhere will open their eyes and be like, maybe it's time that we actually modernize and reassess the customer service that we have going on. I mean, I guarantee that those IRS phone conversations are monitored. But they're not monitoring for our pleasure or for our comfort. They're monitoring to make sure we're not doing anything bad and that we can't file complaints against them. But, you know, there should be quality control. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting for now. I've got work to do so I can pay the IRS more money. But anyway, thanks for listening to me complain. And I would love to see comments and hear from other people about their experiences. Maybe the more that we talk about this stuff, maybe someone somewhere might actually give a crap. Good luck.